Jeff Gallion with mma-ko, and I'm standing next to my main man, the one and only Mark, the Machine Gun Matthews, and I'm the one that brings the gun every time I do an interview with this guy. He is stepping in there with Scott Smith, a huge fight for the West Coast Fighting Championship title. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, just wrapping up camp. Last hard week of sparring coming up, then I'm going to focus on this weight cut.
Whoa.
The sky is falling. The sky is falling.
Dude, the banner goes down. Don't worry about that. Let's work our way over to support Folsom MMA. We don't want anything going on right there. Banner has been broken down, and we'll go from there. Tell us about this fight. Tell us about what's going on with you. This is huge.
Yeah, man, this is definitely the biggest fight of my career. You know, I get to go in against a guy that I used to watch fight before I seriously considered fighting, man. And not only that, I get to do it for a championship in my own backyard. I mean, there's no better page that I would want in my story. Anybody who knows me they know I work my ass off. You know what I mean? And man, I think I'm gonna shock the world on this night.
You know, so many people, you have so many supporters, so many people have been listening into the shows. People have been contacting mma-ko. People have been contacting Cage Radio. A lot of the big outfits, the Best Damn MMA Show, showing the big support. What is it like having so many people excited about what you bring to the table?
You know, when I first agreed to this fight, I automatically assumed that everyone was going to see me as like a huge underdog. And I mean, I was prepared for that. I still am prepared for that. In my eyes, I am the underdog because whenever I feel I'm in the underdog position, I feel like I fight a ton better. But just to go out there and see that, I do have support, that there are people who have faith in me, it's like, man, you know, it's just more motivation because if people are going to have that kind of faith in me, I got to make sure it's not misplaced and I go out there and earn it. So, you know, I take you guys all into the cage with me as much as I take myself when the fight comes.
So tell me that there's no secret what Scott Smith is going to do. He is a major striker. He has hands. He's going to go without letting too much cat out of the bag. How do you prepare yourself against a major striker that's what he's planned to do?
Well, the majority of my camp for this fight, I will say, has been focused on stand-up. A lot of people know I like to stand as it is already. You know, I might not have been the most technical stand-up guy. Neither is Scott. So I figure whoever out of us two, you know, I know he's a big power puncher, you know, and I figure whoever out of us two that can put together the best technique that night and string it together for the longer period of time is going to set up what they want to set up to get the win. I have no preference on whether the fight goes on its feet or on its ground. I mean, whatever opening I see at whatever moment that it's open is what I'm going to take. So whether it's trying to go for a TKO, a KO, a submission, I mean, whatever it is, I feel I have a good finishing scope in any one of my fights. If you guys see, as soon as I get a guy hurt, he's pretty much out of the fight. So just whatever opens up this night. I mean, I have no game plan other than to go out there, relax, be loose, and do my thing.
Now, when you go into, your fame has went through the roof across the country. You're being on Eat Master, doing what you did. What kind of pressure is that for you? I mean, you have a lot to live up to. A lot of people are wanting a lot for you. Do you let that get to you, or you just get in there and just make things happen?
You know, I pretty much look to just make things happen. And in this situation, this will be my first fight since coming off of, you know, the television show. And it's kind of, in my eyes, I don't want to say I'm offended, but I'm offended that what got me to this point of this big of a fight isn't necessarily what I did in the fight world. But in order to make that valid, I have to go out and win this fight. So as far as pressure on myself, that's where the pressure comes from. In order to be considered a valid fighter, I don't want to be the guy that tattoos and fights. I want to be the guy that's a solid fighter and a solid tattooer. Because, I mean, I do everything I can to not half-step in either world. So with that being said, I got to go out there and make sure everyone knows I'm a valid fighter. I'm relevant. You know what I mean? I'm just not a little regional fan favorite. I want to take this to bigger levels and test myself against bigger challenges, and that's why I accepted the fight with Scott. A lot of guys won't fight this cat. You know what I mean? My last fight, I was supposed to fight James Irvin. A lot of local guys won't fight that cat, and I would have smashed on him if I wouldn't have hurt my foot. I'm probably going to get a chance to do that again after this fight. So, I mean, I'm taking whatever challenges come and trying to get further.
Now, the good thing about this is, and a lot of people, the hardcore fans can relate, is that getting in there and training against a guy like James Irvin, your training camp didn't really have to change too much going against James Irvin to Scott Smith. I mean, so were you able to kind of, it's almost like an extended training camp for somebody else, but similar styles.
Right. With James, I was getting more prepared for athleticism and explosiveness, and with Scott, it's just basically making sure I don't let him plant his feet and get off a good right hand. You know, everybody knows that's his bread and butter. He's got a good lunging lead left hook also. He likes to come in with this walking 1, 2, 3, 4 type combo. So, I mean, just paying attention to those things. I feel like James is a little more dynamic because of his athleticism, but Scott's definitely the tougher fight because he's definitely a finisher and he's tough as hell. I think Scott's way tougher than James is, and I mean, Scott will walk through 10 times hotter of hellfire to get that W.
Yeah, and one thing I think the difference between the two is the minute you think that you have Scott hurt, right, you try to get in there. You're about to, you think you got to finish, and then he can throw that big shot, which he has done numerous times. I'm sure you're prepared for that. Most
definitely. I mean, I've already mentally drilled the situation a million times in my head, and even when I do put together good combinations on people in practice and kind of stagger them, I'm not all over them. I'm not impatient. You know what I mean? I'm getting to that point in my career where I'm learning that picking and choosing your shots as opposed to just putting mustard on everything that you're throwing, it's going to have a more effective result. And I'm working with the people who are putting the right things in my head and the right tools in my belt right now. So I can't wait to show you guys what I have.
Well, first off, let's talk about where you're training. I mean, this is huge. I mean, to get down to the training, a lot of people don't know where Mark Matthews are. You spend a lot of time in the Bay Area, and you also spend some time here in Sacramento. So tell us about where you're training and where the machine brings his tools.
Well, for the most part, man, my life is so busy. I basically get in where I can fit in. And it doesn't matter if I'm in Sacramento or if I'm in the Bay Area, I get good work. When I'm in the Bay Area, I'm at El Nino Training Center out there with Gil Melendez, Jake Shields, and those guys that run that whole camp out there. And every fighter that's coming up underneath them, I mean, it's no secret that the grappling there is off the hook, the wrestling there is off the hook, as well as the boxing, you know, the boxing, the wrestling. And you've got Johnson on over there, Wooden Man Muay Thai with the Muay Thai coaching. And then for my personal Muay Thai, just due to scheduling, I actually go to World Team USA. I'm working under Crew Sam now, and all the guys over there working with like Kai Hollenbeck, you know, guys who are top level kickboxers in the world of kickboxing. And when I come to Sacramento, I've always got open arms at Ultimate Fitness. You know, you guys know I was there for 4 or 5 years before I moved out to the Bay. And then I've also got other little honeycomb hideout gyms that I have access to that all I got to do is make a phone call or send out a mass text to a group of guys and I get work, no matter what time it is. So.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Mark the Machine will bring it. Huge fight for the title. Any final thoughts for all the people that support you?
Man, just know I'm coming out here to fight. I'm coming out here to make you guys proud. I'm going to make this night a page in my story, not his. I mean, that's just how it is. You know, I'm mentally committed to winning this fight with all the hurdles I've had to jump through, you know, everything from staff to a couple of injuries through the last couple months. I mean, I'm still here. This is still going to happen, and I have no doubt in my mind that when that time comes and that cage door closes, you're going to see me do every single thing I can to get my hand raised or die trying, plain and simple.
How can they get tickets? How can people, can they get with the man right here? How can they contact you to put their asses in the seat to support you?
For sure. My fight purse is heavily dependent on ticket sales. So if you guys want to get a hold of me, you can check my website, www.manifestmark.com. And on my front page, you have links to my Instagram, to my Facebook, and to my Twitter. You can get a hold of me through any of those mediums, or even just send me an email through the mail through the website. My URL on each of those mediums is Manifest Mark. So yeah, just check me out there. Man, if you see me at any one of the gyms that I'm training at or whatever, or if you just pop in there, they're selling tickets for me. So a lot of ways for you to get tickets.
Right on, you guys. Do not miss this fight. Scott Smith, Mark Matthews, they are going to put it down for the West Coast Fighting Championship title. This is going to be huge. Do not miss it.